Hi, good afternoon to all of you. Okay, in this session we shall be taking up this analysis of Bull Cat 04, Bull Mock Cat 04. And if I talk about the overall feel of these papers, so how do you feel this paper? So what are your feelings about this paper as far as level of difficulty is concerned? Good afternoon, Shubham. Bit tough. So in terms of RCs, I'm just talking about verbal section, and in verbal only I'm talking about 34 questions, especially verbal. So what did you find this the tough part? Especially verbal, I mean to say that RCs were tough, grammar questions were tough, misfits were tough, RCs. Yeah. If I talk about CAT or ZAT, these two top level exams, these two are RC driven exams, or I would say that they are reading driven exams. So in my every analysis, I generally tell my students that you have to read a lot. If you are my regular student, I think you are in one of my batches. Am I correct, Shubham? Naman, so yeah, Shubham and Naman, you are my regular student. Bull the regular student or online student? Your name is not very familiar. Are you an online student or regular student, Naman? Okay, you were regular one last year. So let's start with this. We'll take up the if you have attended my earlier sessions also. Have you attended my earlier mock analysis? All of you, three of you. So in my analysis, I generally tell how to tackle RCs. Few of the questions, even without reading or just by superficial or partial reading, we can attempt few of the questions correctly. So would be of great help if you are able to do so. So let's see what we have in this session. So before moving further, let me give you the brief analysis of difficult versus easy versus medium questions. So this paper had 7 difficult questions. I'm talking about only 34 questions. Moderate or medium level of difficulty, moderate the questions 25, and easy 2 questions were easy. So 25 plus 7, 32 plus 2, 34 questions. So if I talk about the highest score, the student who got 99 percentile, his score in verbal only 50 questions was 101 highest, and he got 99.998 percentile or so, and his accuracy was 79%. I'm not expecting that. It's not so easy to get this much accuracy, but if I talk about what we have to do, what we are supposed to do get 90 percentile in this particular exam. So the student who got this 90 percentile, his score was 45 and accuracy was 57%. Just 57%. 45 score, and with 45 he got 90 percentile. If I talk about the Tri-City score, Chandigarh score 101 all India score. If I talk about Tri-City, Chandigarh, Panchkula, Mohali and nearby areas, so here it was 66 in verbal. 66 was the highest. So if I talk about the difference, so approximately 40 marks difference, and if I divide this by 3, so probably 10 to 12 questions one must get correct in order to come at first or second position at international level. So we should have fair idea of what it takes to reach the highest level, and the topper to reach this highest mark. So 12 to 13 question. Now the second point is that from where we are supposed to get these 12 to 13 questions. I'm talking about 50 questions right now. So we have got 34 verbal and 16 AR. So if your strong area, if I compare these two areas, the stronger is your AR, then it's better to try maximum question out of AR area. And if your verbal is strong, then you should go for verbal. But the condition applies that in AR we have got only 16 questions. So if I solve 70%, if I attempt 70%, so 16 into 7 approximately, probably 12, 13, 11, 12, 13 questions. but after 11, 12, 13 questions, it would be very difficult for me to find a few extra questions, because after that I'll be entering difficult area. So from AR we can we can get 1 or 2 questions, not more than 1 or 2, or at the max 3 questions. So I'm still left with 9 to 10 questions extra there, which I should get from 34 questions, that is verbal area. So you should have clear-cut idea in your mind that the topper is attempting getting 12 to 13 questions correct more than what you are getting. So am I clear about this particular strategy, guys? Shubham, Naman, Manmeet, 1-4. Manmeet, are you my student? Regular student? So we should have this clear idea. Now I have picked up few questions again, likewise I did in previous analysis. So I picked up few RCs, almost all the RCs I picked up few questions from each of the RCs, and 1 or 2 grammar based, 1 or 2 misfit ones, etc. Let's see what we have. Now the first is the RC part. Now the passage is about what role editor has in this publishing industry, what are his responsibilities, what are his limitations, and what the do's and don'ts of editor, the responsibility of being an editor. Passage I think was easy. Questions were a little tricky when it comes to selecting the right option, the appropriate option, because in CAT or ZAT generally we are asked to pick up the most appropriate one. Whatever we reject is not always wrong, but it would be less appropriate in comparison to the right option. So what about the passage? So what you felt about this passage while attempting? Was the passage easy, moderate, or difficult in terms of understanding, in terms of vocabulary, in terms of content, subject, essence? So what's your take? Guys, I'm waiting for your response. Moderate in understanding, fine. But questions were difficult. Yes, questions were not difficult but tricky, a little tricky. Because most of you, 61st question if I talk about has been marked as difficult by the students. 62nd, the next question based on same RC, moderate, and the 63rd question is easy. Now I would expect that easy, we should get all the easy questions correct. 2 easy questions, 61st and I think 189 question was correct. So we should get all these questions correct. And moderate, if I talk about 25 moderate level question, 25 into, if I get 60% correct in this section, so 60 into 25, approximately 15 question, 15 plus 2, 17. Out of let's say 7 difficult question, if I get 2 to 3 correct, at the max 2. So 15 plus 2, 17 plus 1, 18. 18 correct, 18 into 3. So probably 54, and if I the person who got 90 percentile got scored only 45 marks. If I manage to get 54 marks, probably I'll be able to touch 95 percentile. So I mean to say that it's easy to cross 90 percentile. The only thing that we should have right strategy in place. Okay, so yeah, probably when 45 is equal to 90 percentile, the 54 it has to be somewhere around 95 percentile. 45 marks, 54, probably plus minus 2-3 percentile. So it's for sure that you will be able to cross 90 percentile. That's my point. So let's say Shubham, answering your question, I would again advise you all that you should not go for all the RCs first of all, and do not attempt all the RCs in just one go. Make sure that after attempting one RC, you take a break, means you attempt 1 or 2 non-RC question, then move on to any other RC. But let's say if I take 10 to 12 minutes in finishing one RC including question answers, then 4 RC is equal to 48 minutes. I have got only 50 minutes for this section because I have to give 35 minutes for AR section also. So in just in 48 minutes, if I'm able to complete only 4 RC, there is no point in going for all RCs, because I'll not be able to complete rest of the paper. So probably 3 RCs initially. But since RC is very dominant area in this question, so if my non-RC area is weak, then I should go for fourth RC, but make sure that you attempt at least 2, at the max 3, or if time permits then go for fourth RC as well. And deliberately CAT people will set RCs based on philosophy, psychology, art and history, culture, etc., all these very abstract areas. So we have got a little choices, a very little choice in accepting or rejecting any RC most of the times, but make sure that you reject very difficult one in terms of understanding only. Don't go by the subject, because sometimes the philosophy, RC, generally we all have this preconception that normally philosophy is a very abstract area, but possibility is there that I'll get RC based on philosophy very simple, and I feel that my science, since I'm from science background, therefore my anything based on science would be easier for me to deal with. And by chance, unfortunately, if you get the difficult passage, the most difficult passage based on science. So it is not like that subject does matter, but it is not always. But make sure that you at least 2 RCs, and at the max 3. If you want to leave, then leave that particular RC where you find vocabulary to be difficult, subject a little difficult, lying outside your comfort zone, and just scan the questions fast. And if you find most of the question are inference based, that RC is going to be difficult. Have I answered your question, Shubham, regarding strategy? Yep, it is not necessary that after reading RC it is my moral obligation to attempt all the questions whether I am able to understand this RC completely or not. If after reading any particular RC reading comprehension, if I am able to attempt only one question, that too with confidence, I should go for only one question, because CAT and JAT, these 2 papers are accuracy driven exams, not speed driven or attempts driven exams. So shall I move further? Okay, Shubham. So that was answer to your question. So in this RC, so we have been given, let me just rush through this RC. Make sure that you also rush through. So in the first paragraph, he has highlighted the role of the editor. We believe that editor has one primary responsibility, one loyalty, and that is to the author's book. He owes some loyalty to author as well, in that all times he must tell the author about the truth. Truth is very relevant word here, a very strong keyword here, means he should not, but he is not author's friend, he is book's friend. So he has highlighted the loyalty or the essence of this profession in this very first paragraph. And I tell my students in every analysis that please use scrap paper to write that what first paragraph highlighted, what second paragraph of this any RC highlighted, third, etc., etc. This would definitely help you in answering or at least selecting the right answer. So second paragraph, no editor should labor under delusion that he or she is a collaborator. Is not collaborating with the author to get his or her book published, because they say the collaborator belongs to other side of the table. So we'll leave this collaborator word aside, not at all bothered about this word. Author can give, editor can give author direction. Direction means he plays the role of mentoring, and he can direct the author that this should be done like this, this should be done like this. But he should not improve. Just note that improve he has put under the comma, has been put under comma. So he is not allowed to improve the manuscript by infusion, by writing, or by cutting or something. He can only guide that these lines are to be deleted, or these something of this type should be added. So third paragraph, then he is talking about again delving deep into this editor's desk, that there's nothing glamorous about proper use of pencil. Note down the words proper use. Proper means it should not add unnecessary or should not guide what to write, what not to. So conception is much more fun than delivery. It's again talking about, so his role is about like midwife is giving birth to this child. A child has been taken as the author's book. And last paragraph, tough questions have been asked. Most of these questions ought to be asked at the time of conception. So whenever your editor wants to ask the question, so you should ask at the time of conception. The good editor will let realism temper enthusiasm, but on the other hand cannot let prudent enthusiasm flag. Prudent means intelligent enthusiasm. So time and again this tightrope trembles, it shakes, and there are no safety net. If we crosses this boundary, and if he starts thinking himself as an author, then probably will not be able to publish the book. Any book cannot be published. So last few lines are very important. So it says that if you do not tolerate a certain level of anxiety over the considerable period of time, then you are not fit for this job. I'm reading third, fourth, last line. Editors and publishers take gambles every day. Means we are not before the release of any movie, while making any movie, the director or producer will not be able to make out this certainly that movie is going to be hit. Same goes for the book also. So they gamble every day. And the greatest gamble is again regarding serious fiction. The odds are also again in non-fiction, but non-fiction category can be, the odds can be minimized. So there is also small element of luck involved. For example, if the book is absolutely fine in terms of writing or essence, but let's say because of any reason a book did not hit, find this place. So that's about this passage. Now let's move on to, am I clear about this a little bit of structure? So Namani have asked, do we have to write first line of each paragraph? Only the first paragraph to get the basic intention. Just not first line of every paragraph, but just the gist of every paragraph. Gist means what exactly author wanted to say or convey. So let's move ahead. Let's see, pick up the question. Let's say 61st. We have been asked which of the following most likely the author's reaction to employing market research. Now, little application based question. So just focus on last few lines. Now, market research companies, if we know about market research because you are preparing for MBA and take a test paper setter may assume that you know about something, let's say corporate sector market research, and if you are college going student, so we all are aware of market research. This the essence of this profession, the profile is you first of all do research in order to check the market for your product, the taste of the customer, the target segment, etc., etc. So this is done actually. Market research companies would be called into the picture before the launch of any product. It is not after the launch of any product. Got my point? This is only we should know after just reading the question. Now I will, because exactly there's no mention of the market research word in the passage, so most of the innocent students, I would say that they will reject the question straight away, that since there's no mention, so they'll not be able to answer this question. Now just read choices very carefully, because this is done before the launch of any product. Now third, let's say if I am impressed by third choice, market research is used only by the industry only to confirm what they already know about the book's audience. Let's say there's no point, if you already know about your book's audience taste, etc., there's no point in calling market research companies. Straight away rejected. Market research is best done by companies like FMCG companies, Procter & Gamble, etc. No one has asked, no one is asking your suggestion, or no one wants your suggestion, and Procter & Gamble strictly out of track. We are dealing with the publishing industry. There's no point we should try to juxtapose FMCG. Third gone, fourth gone. Shubham, yes, the para is tough. We can skip it, but point is that just at least try your level best to get the gist of the paragraph. Just gist. Because ultimately ideas matter, not the words or the vocabulary or the essence or something. So make sure that at least you get the little idea, rough idea. And it is too tough to understand. My advice is to leave that passage, because it's not hard and fast rule that we have to attempt all the questions based on that paragraph. Now we are left with only first and second choice as far as 61st question is concerned. So publishing industry is too conservative. Now this conservative word goes against gambling, since in the last few lines it is mentioned that they gamble. Gamble is involved in this profession also, so we cannot term these people as conservative. Had they been conservative, they would not have indulged themselves in gambling, means taking risk of publishing any new book. So this is also rejected. Conservative goes against this word gambling. Am I clear, guys? Those who are attending this. So we are left with only first the choice number 2, which is the right answer option also. Market research is too expensive to be tried anything for only one book, because at a time editor would be publishing only one book, so there is no point that only for one book he would undertake this massive exercise. So author is not at all in favor of editor going for this industry, going for market research before the launch of any single title. Guys, clear? Am I clear? My point is just to tell you the thought process, how to get to the right answer. Okay, now the editor pencil is properly employed in. This can be straight away done. Just rushing through the passage and can be done straight away. Editor pencil properly employed, asking questions. Yes, probably he can. But let's say I'm impressed by second choice. Making correction is not allowed to alter whatever author has written. Rewriting, again making correction. Second and third almost same. Pressing for the revisions that match author's expression. No, we cannot, editor cannot press. Just read first few lines, you will find that he can ask questions that what is this and what is that, and probably can give his suggestions. So second, third, fourth rejected straight away. Even without reading the passage, we could have answered this question. 60 seconds. Am I clear, guys? Let's move on to next question. I'm just taking up RCs primarily in this session, just to make clear that normally RCs can be done, can be tackled easily. Now, referring to the third paragraph, which of the following is not implied? So even if I haven't read third paragraph, I'm just reading the choices for you. Let's say second choice is that editor works for long hours, means he has got very tight and hectic schedule. Editor rarely come to office, preferring to work out of home. Again, kind of hectic schedule or tight schedule or lengthy working hours, because you're working from home, then there's no time restriction. Editor have high level of involvement. High level involvement means long hours, responsibility, and answerability, accountability, etc. So almost 2, 3, 4, second, third, fourth choice sounding almost the same. Therefore, the odd one left is 1. They have got 9 to 5. 9 to 5 goes against rest of the 3 choices. Am I clear, guys? Yes. So am I clear? Okay, 64th question, it can be inferred from the passage. Now inference, while answering inference based question, you have to be a little careful, because inference is something which is not mentioned, but it should be based on any particular line or few lines clearly mentioned in the passage. So I'll just read the choices. Editor can have only limited effect, since by asking questions he has got the power to reject or cut any line, edit any line. So we cannot say that he has limited effect. Technically wrong, factually wrong, rejected. Now, editor can alter the thought process. He can just give suggestions. He can just give suggestions. So there's no point that he can alter the thought process, because once the book has been written completely, only minor changes can be done. Minor addition, deletions can be done. It cannot change the thought process of an author. Gone. An editor has a role of an enabler, helping the author to conceptualize. There's no point. This is factually, technically wrong. Against, it is very much against the essence of this profession. Whenever you want to write a book, you will have your own ideas rather than asking different editors, what should I write about. So fourth is also wrong. Third, he has a role of herdsman. Let's say if I'm not able to understand how come he's playing the role of herdsman, just look at the word guidance. Because I told you that he can mentor, he can play the role of mentoring, he can give suggestions, so he can guide probably that changes should be done this or that way. Third answer. Am I clear about this passage, guys? So at least I was able to answer 3 questions easily out of 4 questions. Now let's see what we have in the next slide. Now 65th question. So a little based on error finding, grammar. Now sometimes the errors are too easy to spot, and they are so easy that we find it very difficult to spot even these errors. So in this, let's say sentence A is wrong, but it's very difficult for us to pinpoint that how come A is wrong. There's a preposition based error, so had many problems. It must be remembered that beginning of Soviet Union education had many problems to contend. To contend with whom? To contend with oneself, to contend with nation or something like this. So after contend, preposition with is required. But I would not recommend that you should go for this, because it's very difficult for us to remember, even recall that after this contend we need this preposition. It's not generally used while speaking even. And but I would simply say that intelligently how to answer this question. C, let's pick up C. C also had one error. So it says that invested. Now with the word investment, the right preposition is in, not on. Could have been found easily. C. Now if I pick up C, then we have got all the 3 options, and C is present in every option. So again, choices are not going to help me in this. Let's see if I talk about D. Now, why I picked up this question? Not because I wanted to tell you how to track this question, but I wanted to tell you that the word catered well to. Now, catered has can be used in two ways. Generally, while speaking, we all use catered to, but catered for is also. But in this question, the proper usage was catered for. So, guys, do we know the difference between in using catered for and catered to? Just press yes or no if we know this answer, because the sentence is based on this. So catered to versus catered for. Now, catered for somebody or something is used when you want to provide something to the people which is desired, which is required by them, and it is used for positive situation and positive sense. Am I clear? Now, catered to is used when you want to provide something to the people or the group of people which you don't want to. You are unwilling to provide them, but somehow because of under compulsion or under any kind of restriction, you have to provide them these things to the people. There we use catered. Cater to. Am I clear? So here the education is desired and it is a moral obligation of the government to provide education to the people. So here the best usage would have been catered well for Soviet. Am I clear? I picked up this question just to tell you this. My purpose was just to make you understand catered well, catered to and catered for. Am I clear? Shall I move forward, guys? Otherwise, okay, let's move ahead. Now again, a little difficult passage, I would say that. It talks about what we think about that how we engage ourselves with the systems around us, and when it comes to doing activities, routine activities like arranging the files, arranging the clutter, or removing the clutter from office, opening the door, pressing the switch, elevator switch, etc., etc. So design plays important role, and our own psychology, the preconceived notions play a very important role. A little tough in terms of understanding, confusing at the same time in terms of understanding. So you have to be, you should have very calm and quiet mind when you start with RC. Before attempting any RC, close your eyes for 10 to 30 seconds, rub your eyes, make sure that you have removed all the clutter based on previous questions. Start reading the passage totally, completely afresh. Do not think about anything else while starting with this process. Do this exercise. We still have got many more mocks to go, so make sure that you have got this exercise before you move on to this reading part, because ultimately after attempting DR, Quant or AR questions, we all feel tired and we are exhausted and we lose focus also, concentration also. So my advice is that before moving on to this any RC, make sure that you take a break, take a 15-30 second nap, close your eyes, rub your eyes, remove all the clutter, and then move on to this RC, because sometimes the subject could be very tough and probably it requires concentration from your side that to at your peak level. Now let's talk about this. It talks about this as well as understanding the various cognitive, a little difficult word. Do we know the meaning of the word cognitive, guys? We can trap you, we can make you senti by just using very difficult verbs. So make sure that you read a lot, and we have got our vocab builder on our website. Do visit our website, Vocab Junction, Vocab Builder, and you'll find word list visual. Make sure that you practice, revise all the word list before you take this paper head on D-Day. So it is talking about psychology. Emulate, he has used the word emulate. Emulate is to copy. However, simple emulation I'm reading somewhere in between the first paragraph. Simple emulation approach can turn out to be counterproductive. Counter means it can go against us if you try to emulate, if you try to copy the way things are to be done. So this can happen when actively being emulated in a more complex than it is assumed. So it says that sometimes we go by by our assumptions that this is to be done like this, but whenever any human involvement is there, things will not be different, things will not be same. If we talk about machines, you just have to add a few things. Inputs should be given to the machine and machine will perform accordingly. I'm talking about the computer right now. But as far as human beings are concerned, they can think, they can act independently also, randomly also, in spite of the fact the thing is taught or not. Now second paragraph, it says that Tom Morland carried out study of natural history of physical offices. Physical, we are talking about the natural spaces. One of study finding that whether people have messy or tidy offices may be more significant than people realize. So messy offices were seen as being chaotic with piles of paper, etc., etc. Is not at all is not supporting messy offices, clutter. Tidy offices on the other hand were seen as well organized with good use of filing system. But now let's see how he has analyzed. In analyzing these two types of offices, the person suggested that the researcher suggested that they reveal in terms of underlying cognitive, means mental behavior of the occupants. He suggested that using files is a fundamental strategy. Such observation bring to mind immediate design of specific house to support file management by trying to emulate it in an electronic world. Why not let people arrange their electronic files as they do with the papers? Now he has compared arranging files on a desktop the way we do arrange the files physically. The danger of doing this is that it could heavily constrain the way people manage their files, when in fact they may be far more effective and flexible way of filing in electronic world. So it should not restrict people, we should not compel people that in electronic world also filing should be done in the same that is done in physical world. So a group of designers tackled this problem by building an application which went beyond physical world capabilities, etc. They examined how people use the default hierarchical file management system that operating system provide. So probably we take the help of whatever is already there in the system, and we take the help of the computer or the other systems to help us in arranging the things. But in real world we have to do everything ourselves. So this thing cannot be emulated means copied in real world. Am I clear about the little bit of the structure of this passage? So he's saying that there's a marked difference between what we see in computer or electronic world and what we observe, see and do in physical world. Am I clear, guys? So let's see what we have questions. What questions we have? In electronic context, emulation strategy would work best for. So just remember that as per the passage, let's say if I am able to understand this passage partially also, then I'm clear about this. Human world is different from electronic world. At least I was able to guess this. Am I clear about this? Shubham, Karan, Naman, Ayush, Dinesh, Prakhar, Ranit, it seems as if I'm talking cricket team of India. So opening batsman, etc. Okay, so no sir. What about Naman? Get your question. So what's your question? Karan, you are playing this leaving and joining. Let's play leaving, joining. I think there's a technical problem at your end. Okay, previous question, means based on the previous paragraph. Let me answer this question, 66 question. I'll come to your query also. So in electronic concept, emulation strategy would work best for. So wherever involvement of human is there, we cannot emulate the things, we cannot copy the things, because everyone will have different way of doing the things. For example, if I have personal assistants, my idea would be different, your idea would be different, so rejected. Greeting cards is very senti element. If I talk about, everyone has got sentiments attached to this particular medium of communication, so again human involvement would be different, rejected. Games like Scrabble, obviously I'll play differently, you'll play differently, rejected. So I'm left with only third, post-it notes, because it is about computers, electronic systems, so it would work best in case of post-it notes, not in case of first option, second option, fourth option. So even without reading, with my little extra general knowledge, I could have attempted this question. 67th, no need to read one passage, just focus on the word messy. Messy is equal to cluttered. That's it. Answer therefore is option 1. Am I clear, guys? Messy is equal to cluttered. No need to read in even options or the passage. Could have gambled. Let's move on. 68. I would say that 68 question. In electronic interface, when cursor freezes on a screen, most of the people bash away at all manners of key in vain hope, means without any hope that this will make this work again. This we all do this. Let's say if elevator switch is not working, even after pressing the switch once, then we'll keep on pressing different switches or the same switch again and again. This is called, and everyone will try to follow the same thing, same behavior. That's called emulation. But that is not possible. And we have been asked, all of the below are emulations shown by us in real world except this. Now third, let's say if I enter a room and setting the air conditioning temperature control to the minimum, this entering them if on a hot summer afternoon, this may vary from person to person, because I may not feel that hot, or that, let's say, I'll not feel that uncomfortable with that particular temperature, so this would be different. This will not be emulated by other people. Am I clear, guys? Just have a basic understanding of a passage. Just write down the gist of the following paragraphs in the passage and we can answer this question. So I will not take up this 69th, a little difficult question in terms of understanding, in terms of length, but I would say that could have been attempted easily. Let's move on to next. So this is rearrangement based question, para jumbling. So I would again recommend that just go through all the tricks, practice these questions, and we know about opener, how to find an opener, how to find concluding sentence, mandatory pairs, all the tricks. I'm assuming that we know all the tricks. In generally in my classes, in most of the batches, we already have done with all these tricks. Am I clear, guys? And those who are not my students or both the regular students, do we know all the tricks? For example, Ranit, you are an online student. You are one of our online students. Ranit, are you aware of the tricks? Ayush, no. Prakhar, no. So make sure that you attend your regular classes. Just go to the theory if you are an online student. But if you are a regular student, then wait. Right now, Prakhar, I cannot share tricks, but for sure, whenever I will be taking workshop on RCs, so I'll be taking this particular section. Just wait for RC workshop. Generally in RC workshops, we take up this topic, and definitely I'll tell you all the tricks. So in 70th question, if I talk about the answer to this question was second. Social sciences do have role to play as long as practitioners steer clear of careerism. So I picked up this question just to ask you this question. Do we know the meaning of the word careerism? Yes, guys, careerism. Do I know the meaning? Do we know the meaning of? Prakhar, definitely you can attend any of the workshops. You just have to register and make sure that you attend all the workshops. I generally tell all the tricks because this is just an analysis session and workshop will be of 2 hours. So I'll have ample time to tell you the tricks. So careerism. Careerism means whenever you take your career as per your own advantage and you do the things whatever you like and you put your integrity at stake. This way of pursuing your career is called careerism. So the question revolved around this very important word. If you are not having the idea of this word, probably I'll not be able to pick up the right answer. But careerism, definitely, even if I don't know the meaning of this word, this should come to my mind that careerism is something different, not talked about in any of the sentences. So this has to be an opener. So unfortunately, we have been given C thrice in the options that opener. So I could have picked up C as an opener. C. Now after C, what will come? A, E, or B. Now it says that careerism is should not be done. It is bad on the part of a person or any academics. After C, the worst part, the danger is whenever any academic or the intellectual person tries to justify. So C, after C, A should come. The bad part is careerism itself is bad. The worst part is, so after C, A. So let's move on to next. So again, it's talk about validity. Next passage, I find this passage very interesting because after we are done with this reading, we are really confused what exactly is validity and what exactly is reliability. And people who are very sensitive, very senti people by nature, they'll take validity is equal to reliability and reliability is equal to validity, except the difference in spellings. So so you also felt the same, guys, those attending this session. So make sure that you read any RC with very cool mind. Keep your cool temper under control while reading. Don't rush towards the thing. So validity refers to appropriateness. Validity means every time I should get the same result. Right result. If my temperature, let's say if I'm using temperature to measure my thermometer to measure my temperature, I'm running with, let's say, high fever. So my temperature should show the right temperature. Let's say if I'm running with 102 degree Fahrenheit, so my temperature thermometer should show 102. But that is called validity. And reliability is that every time if I am suffering from the same temperature, the thermometer show the same 102.0. Not with me, but any other patient. So that is called reliability. We can rely. That is called we can rely upon this instrument. And validity is whatever the result it is showing it is absolutely correct. Am I clear about this validity versus reliability? So guys, this should be in your mind while answering this question. So he has mentioned that reliability is consistency. In second paragraph, first line, it is consistency, and validity refer to correctness. Appropriateness is correctness. We could have written correctness just to make your life easy, but deliberately we changed this word accuracy to appropriateness, just to confuse you. So that's how we play with your emotions while setting RCs. So the relation between last paragraph, relation between reliability and validity is sometimes confusing. Reliability is measurement needed to obtain valid results, but we can have, this line is very important, we can have reliability without validity. Means every time it's showing temperature but it's not showing the correct temperature. Means the thermometer is not valid, but we can rely upon that at least it is showing temperature. So very important line. So last few lines are also very important. So let's move on to question. I'll rush through because I'm running short of time. Which of the following is true? So 71st question. Guys, your take if you're able to understand this. Reliability is necessary but not the sufficient condition, because if I read this last line that we can have reliability without even validity. So reliability is necessary but not the sufficient condition for validity. Things can be valid, because one time it is showing 102 and I was also suffering with 102, but next time it was not showing 102. So validity, reliability probably is necessary but not the sufficient condition. Validity is necessary but not a sufficient condition. It is sufficient condition. It has necessary also, sufficient also. Second rejected. Reliability and usability are prerequisites for validity. No. It goes against very first option, therefore rejected. Usability is necessary but not a sufficient condition. This is a little out of track, could have rejected straight away. Now 72nd question. All the following, you got this one, Naman, very good. So all the following about validity are true except, now we have to pick up the choice which is not true for this validity. 72nd question. It says that for every sample I should get the same result. Same result for any particular test or instrument. So validity, fourth, validity of an interpretation depends primarily on having a representative sample. So this is technically wrong. For different sample, I should not get the different result. For the same test, I should get the same result. So this goes against the essence of the paragraph. Second paragraph, to be more precise. And let's say, let me pick up this question, question which could have done without even reading. Now, let's move on to 74th question. Very interesting. Unable to launch this slide. Okay, I think the question is not there, and this now. So straight away moving on to 87th question. It is based on summary. So make sure that while summarizing any paragraph, we are supposed to cover the major ideas presented in the passage. But in this 87th question, we have been asked which one of the following is not an apt summary. Means which one of the choices is not summarizing. It says that one of the most popular enduring myths about, means author is against this whatever we believe about depression, that depressed people are always sad. It is not always so. Even happy people can sometimes be sad, right? So this is the main gist of this passage. Now let's rush through the filtering depression through one's lens is fraught with danger. Yes, because if you think only in one direction, unidirection thinking will not be able to analyze what exactly depression is. Second is also fine. Unilateral thinking is not the correct way of approaching it. Yes, as per the passage. Straitjacket evaluation is now fourth option. Singular risk understanding of the depression is erroneous. Yes, we cannot have singular understanding. Which should not. Definitely we don't have any single explanation for this disease. But third is little out. It is not because of the first half. Straitjacket evaluation of depression is risk. Look at this word carefully. Do we know the meaning? Did you check the dictionary for this word? Guys, did you check the dictionary for this word? Risk. It is not simple RISK. It is RSQUE. It's risk. Pronounced as E with a little A tone in it. So risky is no doubt. If we had used the word risk, this option also would have been correct in summarizing the above passage. We deliberately, yeah, it's a French word, Dinesh, because of this a little slash on this alphabet E. But risk means indecent or vulgar in terms of behavior, in terms of saying something or writing something. So this is strictly out of track with respect to the given passage, therefore rejected. But the trick we played initially, we had this word risk here, which was correct. So we deleted this word, and just to make this option wrong, means the right answer option, we changed this word to risky. So you have to be extra careful. So again, I would suggest that be very careful while reading any option, even without knowing this word, because we all know the meaning of risk, R-I-S-K. So and there's not use here. So probably this cannot be an appropriate summary for this question. Therefore rejected. Am I clear, guys? Okay. Genius people of India. Let's say what we have next. We are running short of time. So 6 rubles etc. to buy Renair. This is not. It says that the gist of the passage. I'll just make you understand, because we are already up. Time is up actually. So it says that decrease in the value of currency or increase in the value of currency. We all know that inflation decreasing or increasing. So decrease in the value of currency or increase, both are dangerous if we let go these two parameters as such. This is called waxing and waning. We should know the meaning of waxing and waning. Waxing is increasing and waning is decreasing. So wane, W-A-N-E, tired, decreasing. Waxing is increasing. So in the last line says that in the past the world has been stunned not only by waning, decreasing, but also waxing of the prices. So both are equally harmful. So appropriate summary would be, it talks about that how come oil prices reduce should have made us happy, but too much reduction in the prices of oil actually is worrisome, and it's going to change the economics or the distribution of the prices as such. It will decrease the inflation, and inflation, if it comes down, it will increase the demand, and unfortunately will not be able to control these. And it says that a reduction in the prices of petrol will lead to some uneventful consequences, that is climate catastrophe, because we'll start using too much of this commodity, and this will hurt the environment. So a little bit of this. So appropriate summary would have been question number 89. So first, very close option, the drop in oil prices will ultimately have catastrophic outcomes for the environment. But drop, it says that if you are not able to control this, little drop is fine, because the prices, let's say, have increased and they come down, the decrease is fine. But let's say if it goes unchecked, then it is going to create problems for us. Therefore second is the best. Now 90th question, it talks about a being whose activity has to do with other than social environment. What he does or can do depend on the expectation, demands, approvals. Now people are really confused between these two close options, because I think what can be inferred from this paragraph. Most of the students picked up option number 1. Look at this very carefully. Option number 1 and 3rd. Now they were confused between 1 and 3rd. Out of these two options, one of them is correct and it is 3rd. Just compare 1 and 3rd. Everything is same. The only problem with the first choice is that we have compared thinking, feeling, actions with actions only. It is to be all the 3 parameters should be compared with all the 3 parameters shown by, done by, executed by other people also. Therefore 3rd is the best summary of this. So it is now last paragraph. I think it is about surveillance system, the freedom of expression. Right now the gango about this is going on in India. This was controversy related to surveillance laws or freedom of expression. So again we picked up this paragraph, and fortunately it coincided with whatever is going on in India right now regarding this matter. So as I'm just reading the last line, there is every chance that documents from Snowden or some other whistleblower could influence the debate. Look at this word debate. Now I'll move on to question. 93rd question. Appropriate title of this passage could be, because you guys picked up this question as difficult. It was just based on last line. No, I'm not saying the title should be always based on last line, but we can get the essence of this. When it comes to surveillance, there is everything to play for, because debates would still be there, challenges in the courts would still be there. So everybody is running after this. If government wants its own version of this, people want own version of these laws. So when it comes to surveillance, there is everything to play for. It's the best title. Not saying that other are wrong, but this is the best. Second, played for already. Still the things we are talking about, we ended this paragraph with the year 2015, so it cannot be already. Could be played for once. We are not talking about the past, only rejected. When it comes to surveillance, who can beat the omnipresent big brother? We are talking about America. I should not be taking this using this word online, because I am right now WW. So I'm not talking about America only, I'm talking about the world as such. Therefore rejected. 96 and 97, Dinesh. I'm still running the short of time. 96 and 97. Okay, let's go to, let's check if we have this question. Sorry, I think I don't have this question, but 96. I'll just because 96 I've got this in the hard copy. I'm carrying this paper also. So 96, it's about finding odd one out, irrelevant from the given contest. So it talks about Sanskrit and how Sanskrit was viewed as noble, thorough language, complete language, error-free, flawless language, and how it has started arouse interest in European people, Greeks, etc., etc. So the other three sentences talked about the interest shown by other communities. Only second talks about peculiar pleasure. We have already underlined this and wrote this word under comma. So peculiar pleasure taken by American in connecting their country with their old home in Europe. So he's trying to, in this sentence, Americans think of this Europe connection with Europe, and the bridge is Sanskrit. So we are not talking about in the other three areas. We are talking about the interest shown by, and American think that is one of the bridges between this and this. Naman, why it can't be first option? Because the academic world is fascinated by this unexpected discovery in philological interest. Sanskrit was corollary of this. So corollary has to be, it has to be something to do with some previous statement, because corollary is some statement drawn from the main statement. So it cannot be, out of track. I just look at this corollary. Corollary means it is connected with some main statement. So it cannot be out of context otherwise. Now looking at the understanding part, third says Sanskrit views as noble speech. The interest. Fourth says interest in intellectual one in Britain, classical and ancient studies showed great deal of discovery. Sanskrit was related to ancient European language, and the academy was fascinated by this unexpected discovery. So first is related to fourth. And second sentence. So am I clear about this, Naman? Even without reading, I cannot pick up this. So Naman, you're asking 94th question. Okay, so what is which of the following is biggest existing surveillance laws? So last line, just look at the last line. In Nathon 15, we shall be watching debates over this issue. So in this on this particular issue, there will be challenges. You're asking why it can't be one. Document is too specific to be answered. Because we are talking about, we'll see, because he has used word Snowden or other whistleblowers. So we'll have debates happening over this particular issue. Am I clear? 94th, why it can't be one? Naman? Okay, so I'm done. I'll just take 5 minutes. Now we have got 98th question here. 98th question is great barrier to seeing the world racing our own rose tinted classes. We are talking about the way we look at this world, the two sides of a same story, means two pictures attached, imagination and sensation, or the what we look at, imagined feelings, etc. In 98, the odd one was the barrier word itself. In other, we're talking about how we are attached, what we think about, and here we are talking about the barrier, therefore odd one. In 99th question, it is Saidian was one of the philosophers of the philosophy Orientalism. It is not about Said was his name, so Saide was the person, Edward Said or something. So Saidian Orientalism created by this person. So 99 second is odd because we are talking about Soviet Union, and other sentences we are talking about this or in this philosophy only, and how this is related to and how or this was omitted by no, not omitted, and how this particular philosophy omits the range of Soviet literature. So we're not talking about this, we're talking about this philosophy as such. Therefore 99th question, second was odd one. So guys, the time has come to wind up this session. Make sure that whenever we launch any workshops online, and if you are an online student, make sure that you attend workshops, and sooner within 24 or 48 hours, again the session I took will be uploaded on YouTube. So if you have missed any point, so you can again attend the session on YouTube. So time has come to wind up this session, guys. So I hope that did you get something out of this session? Just asking. So make sure that whatever I tell you, try to follow, try to take note of whatever I say, discuss. And one very important last 30 seconds suggestion, that after taking the exam, any particular exam, take the printout of that paper and solve the complete entire paper at home without worrying about time frame, etc. Just solve the paper for sake of solving that particular paper or question. Solve all the question. Let's say you're taking 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, doesn't matter. My point is that train your mind to handle difficult question. Let it be from DI area, quant area, etc. Make sure that train your mind how to handle difficult question, because next time whenever you come across difficult question, at least or moderate question, we should be able to get the hints. So guys, see you next time around. The time has come to wind up the session, and all the best for the rest of the exams. So see you guys, bye, all the best.